Jesus, it's like a crime scene. It smells horrendous in here like someone died. I know, right? That's the point. This girl we're investigating, she's supposed to. It's your responsibility to keep your own home clean and organized. You're a full grown adult, sir.
Hi, I'm Bonnie, Jason's ex-wife. Let me tell you about the time when things that were supposed to be clean got too clean. You see, from the early days of our marriage, it became clear that cleanliness and organization were not Jason's strong suits. At first, I didn't mind taking on the responsibility of keeping our home tidy. After all, we all have our strengths and weaknesses, right? But as time went on, it seemed like Jason's messiness knew no bounds. His room was the epicenter of chaos, with clothes strewn across the room, dirty dishes left to mold, and random items scattered haphazardly. If I didn't intervene, the room would quickly become overrun with roaches, flies, rats, and other pests. No matter how tired or busy I was after a long day of work or tackling household chores, I couldn't escape the never-ending clean-up duty. It felt like Sisyphean task. Just as I tidied up one mess, Jason would create another. I remember coming home one evening exhausted and hoping for a moment of relaxation. Instead, I was greeted with the sight of clothes piled high on the bed and food wrappers littering the floor. The smell alone was enough to make me cringe and gag. Jason, can you please clean up after yourself? The fact that I had to plead with him for this basic responsibility is embarrassing. After confronting him about it, he would simply shrug nonchalantly, seemingly oblivious to the chaos he had created.
Yeah, I'll get to it later. Quick nagging like you're my mother.
But later never seemed to come. If I didn't act quickly, our home would be engulfed in a sea of mess, and I couldn't stand the idea of living in such disarray. As much as I loved Jason, I couldn't help but feel resentful at times. It felt unfair that I had to bear the burden of cleaning up after him, while he seemed content to live in his own cluttered world. Even though we didn't have a child yet, I felt like I have one. I remember how I walked into Jason's room with a laundry basket in hand, ready to tackle the mess that had accumulated over the week. As I took my first step, I felt a sharp pain in my foot, and I looked down to find a charger on the floor, its metal puncturing my bare foot. And how could I ever forget about the time when I came to check on my husband to wake him up since he was still asleep until late afternoon? Then I saw him lying next to a rat on his bed. This has become a routine for both of us, but of course, I'm only a human and I couldn't possibly do it every day. The one time that I didn't get to clean his room because I was too exhausted that day, he wasted no time bursting into my room with his face red from anger.
Bonnie, can't you see how messy this room is? I can't find anything.
I tried to stay calm, not wanting to escalate the situation. I'm sorry, Jason, I'll clean it up right away. But my response seemed to only make him angrier. He huffed and puffed like a child throwing a tantrum.
No, it's too late now. I can't stand living in this mess.
I could feel my patience waning, but I took a deep breath. Okay, fine. Let's clean this together. It won't take long. But he was having none of it.
No, I can't deal with this anymore. I need someone who can keep this place totally organized.
Jason's word hit me like a slap in the face. Need someone who can keep this place organized? I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Was that all he thought I was good for, cleaning up after him? I felt a surge of frustration and anger rise within me. Well, maybe you should try cleaning up your own mess for once. I'm not your mommy, Jason. I'm your wife, and I deserve to be treated with respect.
You're overreacting, Bonnie. I just want a clean and organized space. Is that too much to ask? Aren't that what wives are literally for?
I was taken aback by his words, feeling hurt and unappreciated. At that moment, I realized that I had enough of this pattern. Jason had always relied on me to take care of things, but now it seemed like he was expecting to be some kind of super maid. But instead of confronting him about it, I decided to take some time to myself to process my feelings and think about what I really wanted from this relationship. I wasn't going to let his man-child behavior dictate my worth or happiness. It was time to find a balance and make him understand that our marriage was about more than just keeping a room tidy. The days that followed our heated argument were tense and strained. Jason and I seemed to be walking on eggshells around each other, the weight of our unresolved issues hanging heavily in the air. Despite my attempts to communicate my feelings, it felt like he was more distant than ever. One evening, as we sat across from each other at the dinner table, Jason dropped a bombshell that I wasn't prepared for.
I think we need some time apart.
What do you mean?
I mean, maybe we should consider a divorce.
Tears welled up in my eyes as I tried to hold back the flood of emotions threatening to overwhelm me. Is this because of the argument we had about your room? I can clean it next time, or even now if you need to. We don't have to make extreme and rash decisions.
It's just that I need someone who is consistent in helping me with my needs. I just couldn't live with the uncertainty that my wife would one day stop being there for me or clean my room just like what you did.
I tried to find the right words to say to convince him that we could work through our problems, but he seemed set on his decision. He moved out of our shared home the next day, leaving me feeling lost and heartbroken. Within weeks, he introduced me to his new girlfriend, Amber. It felt like a slap in the face to see him move on so quickly. And to make matters worse, he couldn't stop singing her praises.
Amber is so amazing, really, even better than my ex-wife. She's so meticulous and organized, and she doesn't even need to be told what to do. It's like she can read my mind.
As much as I tried to hide my pain, hearing him talk about her in such glowing terms felt like a knife twisting in my heart. It was like he was rubbing salt in my wound, reminding me of everything I couldn't be for him. I couldn't help but compare myself to her, wondering what made her so special and different from me. Was it her cleaning skills? Did I deserve this hurt? I just failed to clean his room one time. A few weeks had passed since Jason and my breakup, and life had taken its own course. Jason was quick to move on with Amber, but there was a part of me that felt a twinge of jealousy. But I knew it was time to let go and focus on my own happiness. One day, while I was out running errands, I ran into Amber at the local coffee shop. Amber, is that you?
Hi. Who are you and how do you know my name?
Oh, I'm Jason's ex-wife. It's just that Jason's always talking about you.
Hey, listen, I'm not here to make any trouble.
No. I have moved on. He's moved on. We're good. How about you? How are things with Jason?
Oh, thank God. Things are good. He's been really sweet with me, taking care of me and all that.
I couldn't help but notice a hint of uncertainty in her voice, as if she wasn't entirely convinced of what she was saying. As Amber and I continued chatting at the coffee shop, I couldn't help but notice that she seemed restless. She kept glancing at her watch and fidgeting with her purse as if she had something urgent to attend to.
I'm so sorry, Bonnie. I hate to cut our conversation short, but I really need to get going. I have some things to take care of at home.
I could sense her anxiety, and it reminded me of the times when I used to rush out of place to go home and clean Jason's room. It was as if history was repeating itself. Amber, I understand, but before you go, I just want to say one more thing.
Sure, what is it?
You are an amazing person, and I can see that you genuinely care for Jason, but remember to take care of yourself too. Relationships shouldn't be one-sided. Both partners should contribute and support each other. It's important to find that balance in your life and not to let everything revolve around him.
I know, but I don't mind doing it. I love taking care of him. As his wife, it's my duty to take care of him after all.
That's wonderful, Amber. It's important to do things out of love, but also make sure you're taking care of yourself too. Don't lose yourself in the process of taking care of someone else. Just remember, it's not your duty as a wife to be his maid. You deserve to be treated with love and respect and to have a partnership where both of you contribute equally.
I know, and I'm trying my best. It's just that, well, he's so particular about how things should be, and I don't want to disappoint him. But you're right, I need to find a balance, take care of myself as well, and not lose sight of who I am.
As I left the cafe, I couldn't help but feel a sense of hope for her. It was a bittersweet feeling to see a bit of my past self in her, but it also brought me comfort knowing that I had the chance to offer her some guidance. But turns out Amber didn't need my advice at all because she's smart. Too smart even. That very night, my phone rang. And to my surprise, it was my ex-husband Jason on the line.
Bonnie, where's all my stuff? I know you're behind all of this. Just surrender to the police. Do you think this little revenge of yours is funny?
What? What are you talking about? Please calm down, explain things properly to me.
You robbed me. Everything's gone. My wallet, electronics, car keys, everything. Give it back, the assistant. Bonnie, stop acting innocent.
I'm sorry this happened to you, but it wasn't me.
Stop lying. You must have used a spare key to get access to my house. You did this because you're jealous of the new girl, right? It's not my fault she's way better than you. You need to move on.
I have already moved on, and I already told you I didn't do anything. Let the police do their investigation and you will learn that I'm innocent. I don't even have the spare key to your house anymore since I returned it to you after the divorce, remember?
You are just trying to play the victim again. It's always about you and what you want, whatever. See you in jail, you sad thief.
As the days went by, Amber remained nowhere to be found. Jason became increasingly worried and his anxiety reached its peak when he discovered a shocking truth. It was Amber all along who pretended to clean his room. She had deceived him with her false promises of being a perfect housekeeper, and he had fallen for it badly. Amber portrayed herself as an innocent and meticulous wife, but she was actually a skilled thief who had been wanted by the police for multiple robberies. News of Amber's criminal activity spread like wildfire, leaving Jason in disbelief. He couldn't fathom how he had been so blind to her true nature. The humiliation was unbearable as he realized that he had not only been taken advantage of, but had also unknowingly harbored a criminal in his home. As the police investigation intensified, it became apparent that Amber had meticulously planned her schemes using her relationship with Jason to gain access to his home and belongings. The items she had claimed to clean and organize were actually the ones she had earmarked for her theft. Jason felt a profound sense of shame and regret. He had chosen Amber over Bonnie, believing that she would be the solution to his messy life. Instead, he had fallen victim to her manipulation and ended up losing not only his belongings, but also his pride and dignity. To make matters worse, the news of Amber's criminal activities became public knowledge, tarnishing Jason's reputation within his social circle. His friends, who had once admired him for his accomplishments, now pitied him for being a victim of Amber's deception. Some even made snide remarks questioning his intelligence and calling him gullible. Jason felt the weight of their judgment and couldn't help but feel them looking down on him as if he was a child. Well, I can't blame his friends because he was acting like one. Jason couldn't take the embarrassment anymore and requested the police to come to his house once again to speed up the investigation process in hopes that they would see more clues they might have missed. When the policeman arrived at his house, they couldn't believe what they saw, the mess that Jason had allowed to accumulate over the days. They couldn't help but scold him for not taking responsibility for his own living space.
Jesus, it's like a crime scene. It smells horrendous in here, like someone died. I know, right? That's the point. This girl we're investigating, she's supposed to... It's your responsibility to keep your own home clean and organized. You're a full-grown adult, sir.
Jason felt humiliated and ashamed. He had allowed his man-child behavior to get the best of him, and now he was paying the price for it. It was a hard pill to swallow, but he knew that he needed to change. For me, let's just say my conscience is as clean as my house. No pests roaming around, not even my ex-husband, Jason.